Alarm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We have two games here on a Thursday. James, we've talked a lot about this throughout the year so far. The Thursdays had generally been smaller slates, but of late we've had some larger Thursday slates. This is not one of them, though. We have two games here. We have Milwaukee versus San Antonio. Milwaukee is going to be on the second leg of a back-to-back, and we have Denver Golden State here at 10 p.m. Nice of DraftKings to keep the 10 p.m. game on the main slate for this one. With it just being two games here on the schedule, they didn't give us just two showdown matchups, thankfully, that we had to figure our way through. Milwaukee, obviously, on the back-to-back. At the time of this recording, the Milwaukee front leg hasn't started yet, so we're not sure whether or not Chris Middleton's going to be on the front leg or the back end of this back-to-back. He hasn't played back-to-backs yet this season. Now, obviously, Middleton versus the Pacers, conference matchup. Bucks versus the Spurs, not a conference matchup, so it'd feel more likely that he would sit this one. But as of yet, we don't have that official status for him, so bear that in mind as we are going through each team here. That with Milwaukee especially, we're unsure on the current availability of Chris Middleton.
So that game, John, has opened at 250.5 points, and I find this part interesting. We know Milwaukee is the significantly better team.
You can tell me San Antonio's like given 3 or something like that?
No. I mean, it's still a big number, but like, it's only 9.5.
Sure.
And I get it. Milwaukee has kept a lot of bad teams in games this year. Like, it's been way more competitive, I think. Like, they win games, a lot of games, but every game like seems competitive. So just keep that in mind. And San Antonio obviously has been better at home this year. Like, they have been the worst road team of all time. But they have been competitive at home. So 250.5 in that game, and then 233.5 in that late night window, Denver Golden State.
Yeah, for sure. We also have to, consider the last time these two teams met, Milwaukee, San Antonio. Victor Wembanyama did not play in that game. So I'm hopeful we'll get the Wemby-Giannis matchup here, but who's to say that they don't sit Giannis, who's been questionable at times throughout the last handful of slates here as well.
Yeah, it's the calf, right? He's had a calf injury, like a legit calf injury that he's been playing through for a while. So that's definitely a good point. Do we have official word? And this is another interesting nugget. Do we know if San Antonio is playing Friday? Because like the whole league is.
Yeah, they're not.
Friday.
Yeah, no, they're not. I just looked. They don't play again until Sunday.
Okay, that's good news. Because there's 14 games, so they're one of two teams not playing on Friday. Milwaukee, the other one, because Milwaukee's on the second leg of a back-to-back. So good to know. Definitely something of note. Giannis triple-doubled against them the first time around. One of those, like, don't need to shoot a lot, can just dominate in every other facet of the game. 16 assists for Giannis in that first game. So it'll be definitely an interesting game to break down here.
Agreed. And he played 34 minutes in that game, and they won by 13. So, certainly could get the minutes there. And if Wemby's in, it'll be very interesting to see how that matchup certainly plays itself out. Just going by team here in these matchups, we have Milwaukee. Obviously, Giannis is $12K. Damian Lillard at $9,300 would be pretty interesting if he ended up being ruled out. Middleton or Giannis, obviously, in that fact here. Lillard at 93 would be super appealing. So, obviously, with the rest of the Milwaukee lineup, Brook Lopez at 62, Bobby Portis 6K, Beasley at 5,400. All of those guys would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the pricing is definitely interesting here. I'm happy to see Giannis at 12K to not just make it as easy as it's been to like jam stars in lately, i.e. Joel Embiid on the Tuesday slate and like star after star lately. If he plays, obviously he's probably the top play of the slate, especially if Middleton's out. If Middleton doesn't play and plays on Thursday, he's doesn't play Wednesday, plays Thursday. That's an elite play, 7,600, considering how good he's played. The last game against Indiana, he made all the shots, had a lot of turnovers, didn't get as many peripheral stats as we've seen lately. Brolo, you mentioned pretty good.
Yeah.
Or there's like nothing else though that would like.
Yeah, they're all better if someone's out, but if the top three are in, they all take big hits. So it's difficult to go through and trust them. Speaking of trust them, you have the San Antonio side of this game. Now there is no back-to-back. They're not playing again until Sunday. Should be fine. Wemby did get 26 minutes. He broke the 24-minute plateau. 26 minutes is super encouraging. Maybe now he's got a couple of games at 26 minutes, or maybe they up him to 28, or who knows how they go about and approach this here. He is $8,300. Keldon Johnson still coming off the bench and playing over 30 minutes. And then Devin Vassell had a floor game there in 34 minutes against Memphis. Those would be the three that you'd want to go to here in the spot. They did start Trey Jones in the second half of that game with Branham out, so I guess that's also something to pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely curious on the Wemby minutes. You and I were talking about how weird those final couple minutes were because they took him out. Pop took him out exactly at 24 minutes, and then like down 11 was playing defense with Wemby, and he got an extra couple minutes. So was that just because he felt like there was a winnable game? Did he want to cover the spread? Did Pop have the Spurs on the money line, or did he have the cover, an alt cover to get Wemby back in the game?
Right.
We don't know that, but
did he take the over minutes play?
Maybe he took the over minute. Right. I mean, that's fair point. Not accusing you, Pop. Just we're just theorizing here, of course. Yeah. I mean, unless we hear differently, I assume 26 minutes probably. Like now we 24, 24, 24, 26, 26, 26, right. 28, 28, 28. And then, Keldon Johnson, he's fine coming off the bench. He's going to play 31 to 32 minutes, seemingly. And Devin Vassell, 8 shots is kind of weird because he's too good of an offensive player to only take 8 shots. But this is a great matchup for guards. I do like your Trey Jones shout, especially if Branham's out, especially, with the guard play.
You think Devin Vassell was just like a victim of Marcus Smart here in this game?
Could be. Yeah, could be.
It seemed like a very weird, just lack of activity for him.
Second time all year he has not taken double-digit shots, and the first game he played 12 minutes. So
super weird. Champagne played, obviously. Sohan, assuming Branham's out, they gave Blake Wesley some run. We also commented on how San Antonio played 12 guys. Barlow got 14 minutes, but he got early run in that game as well with Zach Collins out. Again, they played the Wemby 26 minutes. We all thought Mamu was going to be in the rotation. He wasn't. He played 2. We got popped when it came to that one.
Yeah, and that's going to be the tough thing, I think, to figure out. I will say, like, we've now seen 3 consecutive games of Barlow being the guy off the bench, 14, 13, 14 minutes. So I think, at least for the time being, if he continues to play well, then he's going to be the guy over Mamu. Also, Blake Wesley played 20 minutes after Malachi Branham left. 21 minutes, 5 for 8 from the floor, had 2 steals.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Wesley could also be someone who enters the rotation for San Antonio if Malachi Branham's out.
Yep, 100%. Former first-round pick, Blake Wesley there. So, again, quick look at the Milwaukee-San Antonio game. Obviously, again, the Milwaukee side is where we're looking for the news here. If Middleton is in or out, and does Giannis sit on the back-to-back in this spot as well. Moving on over to Denver Golden State, a game that's a little bit more appealing. Golden State is getting 3 at home, a 233.5 game total in this one. Golden State's coming off of a home win against the Orlando Magic. From the Denver side of this here, again, the Joker's 11-6, then a big drop-off in pricing. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., we did get Aaron Gordon back in the lineup there. So, obviously, you can play the Jokic, however you want to pronounce his name here, against Golden State. Is he your priority if you had to save some money off of Giannis here then?
No, Giannis would still be number 1 if he
okay.
Denver's one of those teams though that's like super impossible to talk about anyone other than their starting 5.
It is
because they just don't play enough minutes. Like Peyton Watson could be a fine punt, but he's 4,900. That's not like entirely comfortable. Reggie Jackson doesn't play enough minutes. Christian Brown only really gets minutes in blowouts, so or like extended in blowouts. Right. So if you can play any of the 5 starters, I would probably say Murray, might be my favorite, and Michael Porter like second based on price. And Michael Porter's just always better when they're healthy. I mean, Aaron Gordon comes back,
Right.
makes all of his shots again. It's just Denver's just flows, and their starting five is like argue behind Boston, probably the second best starting five in the NBA. We saw it last year. It took them to literally win a championship. So, um, it's just like the starting five for me, and I actually like Murray and Porter more than I like Jokic.
Sure. And then finishing up here at the Golden State side of things here, Steph Curry had a big shooting night, 12 of 20 from the floor, 36 actual. He even gave you some peripheral stats, 4 steals and a block for Curry, and that one got you to 58 fantasy points. But as we commented going into that night against Orlando, that production really hasn't been there this season for him. Against Denver in 2 games, he's only averaging 35 fantasy points in 35 minutes. So, feels like Curry's not the guy I want to pay $9K for here. But, do we like anybody on Golden State right
now? I mean, there's always a chance Curry like rattles off a bunch of big games in a row, right? He's been the best shooter in the NBA for a while. So it's at least worth considering on a small slate, especially if you need to like save money and you can't get to Giannis or Jokic, like, and you're just like, damn, I can't pay up. There's not like value that I want to get to. Then maybe you just use Curry as your spend up. Chris Paul and Podziemski both played 29 minutes, 28 minutes. They're both fine. Chris Paul was obviously a big letdown. He was 80% owned on Tuesday. I don't think anyone thought he would score 24 actual again, but I think that 21 fantasy points would have been a little better. The peripheral stats were just not there. Curry had more assists than him. You just can't get to Clay right now. He's just been so bad. And it's really hard to get to Jackson Davis at 5,700 as well. I think the chalkiest Warrior is going to be Jonathan Kuminga at 5,300. He's had really good games back to back. He played 34 minutes and played over Klay Thompson again, and even played over Wiggins again, and saw extra run on top of that. When he's going that way offensively, he's going to stay on the floor because he's so good on that side of the basketball. And we've been saying that for a couple of years now. So I think he's going to be the priority for me. Everyone else, secondary, like Wiggins, if he makes shots, he's in play. Saric is kind of out of the rotation, like only playing backup 4 now because Looney is now operating as the backup center.
Do you give Jackson Davis another look here, or are you worried about the Jokic matchup?
I just brought it up, but I think it's more so the price and then the fact that they can just use 3 centers. Like we saw it against Orlando. He was fine, but they preferred the Looney side of things, and then he's only playing 24 minutes, and now he's $1,100 more.
Yeah. We're fortunate that the top 2 spend ups, I think, on this slate I know they both can play center, because I don't think center's a very strong position here on these 4 teams. So you're probably playing Giannis at center, or obviously Jokic at center, or Wembayama at center here. So you can kind of utilize the multi-position eligibility of some of these other players at the other positions on this one.
Yep.
That's it, guys. 2 games here. You want to get a lineup built, James, and call it a day?
Not really.
We will, though. We'll do it. We'll do it for the people.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding, guys.
A little enthusiasm here, Grande. Come on, we got 2 games.
Kuminga, I would say power forward.
Trying to see, do we have an under 5?
Trey Jones or Blake Wesley would probably be, and that's the point of the Curry.
Mm-hmm.
My thinking on Curry, like if you can't get to Giannis, it's like
right.
I mean, KCP is 5K. He's fine.
I mean,
Wiggins 52. Like we're gonna have to play a lot of like.
I think that's sort of where it's at, right? Like you'll have to see a lot of people playing in these sort of fringy plays here if you want to spend up for Giannis and or. So let's see. Probably could go Pod still getting decent minutes, 55. Who gets with Gary Payton's probably not going to play here. Who got the?
He officially has a torn hamstring.
Yeah.
He's definitely.
So what's the who got the minutes there for him?
Just Podziemski and Chris Paul both played 23.
54. So little options.
I mean, we're building with Trey Jones. I don't know if that assumes that we're
I mean, sort of is. I mean, we can obviously pivot down to Wesley or one of those.
Yeah, guys. That's what I was thinking. Well, I was thinking you could even play them both, honestly.
And do something like this, I guess.
Because if one of them starts, that works.
Zinski, Beasley, Wiggins, Kuminga, Giannis, Wesley, Sohan.
I don't love Paul at the price, but
yeah,
I'd probably rather play like Brolo at 63. Okay. Probably
play them both.
Maybe
my worry is this is the more likely game to blow out. So
yeah. Also, yeah.
You go Clay. I mean, I know he has been great.
He's been so bad.
5,900 now though.
I know. Like.
Good. We always say with the 2-game slates, right? You play light. There's obviously not a ton of value yet on the slate that opens up, but we could see some guys get ruled out, and that opens some things. So, just on the outset, James will have your 2-game right up for everybody. We have Podziemski, Beasley, Wiggins, Kuminga, Giannis, Wesley, Sohan, and Thompson as an example lineup for everybody. You can get us in the Discord. Find us on Twitter. Good luck with your lineup builds. No 5 p.m. live stream here because it's the 2 games. So we'll be back on Friday for that. Catch us then, and we'll talk to you later.